There's a soccer ball in the taxi cab of Die Hard 3. I believe my family had one just like it with a lot of world flags on the, what are they, hexagons. Samuel L. Jackson is in the back seat. Bruce Willis is in the front seat with blood on his head. I'm concerned about why someone would have given my family that soccer ball. We were a pastor household, Southern Baptist. Sock R ball. Ron Kidd, R on Kidd, was an associate pastor at our church. R-rated movies were not allowed at Liberty University at the time that I went there, matriculated in 2000. We had one semester of tie wearing at Liberty University. This is the common law. Judicial descendant of Monroe, Georgia, M1000 on row. Caviar from Cavaliers. Gets sold in Richmond occasionally. There's a middle ton in the common law. If you count 2,000 pounds a ton. In the old metrical romance of Huon of Bordeaux, Huon, having killed the son of Charlemagne, is required by the emperor to perform various seeming impossibilities as the price of forgiveness. Huon starts upon the task, leaving 12 of his knights as hostages. He returns successful, but at first the emperor is made to believe that his orders have been disobeyed. Thereupon Charlemagne cries out, "I summon hither the pledges for Huon. I will hang them, and they shall have no ransom." Charlemagne cried that out. He's not happy with Huon of Bordeaux. So when Huon is to fight a duel by way of establishing the truth or falsehood of a charge against him, each party begins by producing some of his friends as hostages. This is the common law. History of contract. When hostages are given for a duel, I heard that Aaron Burr's house in New York was bought by the Astors with opioid money on the cheap. Before watching Rollin' by Limp Bizkit. Rollin'? I guess that made me realize Let's Roll was spoken on the airplane on 9/11. White Goodman coined the phrase "Let's roll," according to Michelle. That's satire. I don't think White Goodman had anything to do with the phrase "wait on the Lord." He was listening to Point of Grace, and he said, "Let's roll." When hostages are given for a duel, which is to determine... That was all satire. This is reading, though. When hostages are given for a duel, which is to determine the truth or falsehood of an accusation... Of course, Aaron Burr died to Alexander Hamilton, right? In a duel. When hostages are given for a duel, which is to determine the truth or falsehood of an accusation... The transaction is very near to the giving of similar security in the trial of a cause in court. Okay, so this is like the movie We Were Soldiers. The bayoneting is of the colonel is like the deciding factor of the duel, supposedly, and then they steal his sperm. After they make sure they don't kill him. They act like they kill him. They keep him prisoner of war, steal his sperm. They make him the surf father. And they give him a nice little POW hut. That's all satire. I don't believe that. That's what Stewart and Brannigan do to Purdue graduates. This was, in fact, the usual course of the Germanic procedure. Friendly only, Stewart and Brannigan. I want peace. Me and Audie Murphy are ready to negotiate. It will be remembered that the earliest appearance of law was as a substitute for the private feuds between families that were clans. But while a defendant who did not peaceably submit to the jurisdiction of the court might be put outside the protection of the law, so that any man might kill him at sight, there was at first no way of securing the indemnity to which the plaintiff was entitled unless the defendant chose to give such security. See, this is Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. is attempting to get to the heart and formation of the law of contracts and the history that essentially created our understanding. This is first cast. It's like my first cast was on my forearm. I fractured my arm playing basketball in the gym. I landed on it funny, and I got cast on my arm. I almost didn't get to. I didn't get to try out for the 8th grade middle school baseball team because of that cast. The English customs which have been preserved to us are somewhat more advanced, but one of the noticeable, this is law and human social science has advanced beyond this form, this dual form, but there is psychology to learn from it. But one of the noticeable features in their procedure, all my opinion, but one of, just like a kitten calendar, is like a rape kit in California lender. That's how you get a student loan. Put your rape kit in on the smart guy. He didn't have a clue. But one of the noticeable features, most you don't have to name him. You don't have to press charges on anybody. He just disappeared in the night. But one of the noticeable features in their procedure, I don't suggest that strategy to anyone. You will be defrauded eternally if you do that. Defrauded eternally. In my opinion. And I believe in Oliver Wendell Holmes' opinion, as we're actually kind of reading along those lines. The English customs which have been preserved to us are somewhat more advanced, but one of the noticeable features in their procedure is the giving of security at every step. All lawyers remember a trace of this in the fiction of John Doe and Richard Roe. The plaintiff pledges to prosecute his action. All lawyers will remember a trace of this in the fiction of John Doe and Richard Roe. The plaintiff pledges to prosecute his action. It's a fiction. I think I just read the rape kit line, didn't I? Dick Rowe. This is the rape kit. Who is John Doe? He's a smart guy. You put the rape kit on, I don't know if that's a good interpretation. Ask Michaela. But a more significant example is found in the rule repeated in many of the early laws that a defendant accused of a wrong must either find security or go to prison. So in one of the steps of getting security, I want nip tuck restored and heart horses bodily nearby so that horses can chill there with old OGs. It's like a ghost trap or the Smallville. You put them in the prison before you send them to the Phantom Zone. So you put the horse in the actual horse, and the OG in the actual horse. It's like Ghostbusters, Ghost Trap. The actual horse is the ghost trap. The theory of plastic surgery is pretty simple. Those who deserve to have never been defaced by bullying deserve their plastic surgeon to offer a fair price. This security was the hostage of earlier days and later, when the actions for punishment and for redress were separated from each other, became the bail of the criminal law. That sounds complicated. Billions of historical decisions go into that sentence, in my opinion. The liability was still conceived, it's like arrow and the chink in the armor. Arrow hits the chink in the armor in Jewish history. The liability was still conceived in the same way as when the bail actually put his own body into the power of the party secured. One of Charlemagne's additions to the Lex Salica speaks of a freeman who has committed himself to the power of another by way of surety. What do you leave in surety? The Pentateuch has some surety. Did Abraham leave the surety? No, Judah left the surety left Joseph surety that he would return, I think. The very phrase is... Okay, so Joseph was the Richard Roe in that story. The very phrase is copied in the English laws of Henry I. I see you might want to watch The King's Man. It's kind of hidden behind like a previous movie. The guy from the quiz show has a doppelganger, or 5 doppelgangers in The King's Man.